Hi guys, Lindsay here with Storybook Family Farm. So today is kind of a dreary, rainy, yucky, cold day. So I decided to sit in front of the fire to actually help warm me up from taking care of the animals this morning and to chat with you guys about how things have been going. We have officially owned this homestead now for 8 months, and I figured because I missed the 7 month update, I should probably give an 8 month update because people are probably wondering how the progress is going. And to be quite honest, it's been rough. Um, I'm very grateful that we do have a heat source now, that we do have a place of warmth to have, because honestly, like, we heated with space heaters the last like couple weeks prior to getting the wood burner put in, and our electric bill is pretty intense. It is like over double of what it normally is because of having to use some space heaters and stuff to keep it comfortable in here, so that way we didn't like freeze our britches off. But so it has been very nice to have the wood burner. I had already procured about 3 months, or not 3 months, 3 cords of firewood, which has been kind of crazy when you think about how many things we've been doing this summer with having the 3 different farmers markets that we did, and with also, trying to establish this place into a homestead and trying to get things just like up and going here, to then turn around and also get so much firewood gathered and stacked and split and like put in, build a shed to then put the firewood in, and all this stuff. Like, it's kind of insane to have been able to do that much in such a short amount of time, and then also to you know eliminate as much of the trash piles as we could over the summertime. Watch out, Nala. I have the little tripod set up on a chair in front of me, and the cats keep getting up there and trying to knock the tripod down because they think that'd be a good idea. But so she doesn't want to be on camera no more. But so it's kind of insane whenever you think about all the things that we've also been doing at the same exact time. So I did get a bunch more of the trash piles taken care of in the past 2 months. And we've been trying to get things more organized since Tracy got a job and has been working a few days a week now. I've been spending that time that she is at work of trying to get things in the house like unpacked and more situated and more settled, because it just keeps feeling really claustrophobic in here with having like boxes of stuff places, but like there's not really a good place to put it because like upstairs there's a bonus room upstairs. When you first like get up to the top of the steps, there's a landing up there. It's an oversized landing, and then there's Willie's bedroom and our bedroom. So at that landing there, that's where we're going to have all of our books. I'm going to eventually build bookshelves to house all of our books, but for right now they're just all sitting in boxes because that room needs painted and bookshelves need built. So there's not much point in me like unpacking it, and that's kind of how like the living room has been too. Is there's not much point in unpacking things because I have to keep moving things because I'm going to have to re-drywall this room and put a ceiling up and do a million different things in here. But it's like, honestly, it has been driving me insane seeing so many boxes and things just piled up and stuff, because like we've been essentially living out of boxes now for like, well, probably about 2 years actually, because we lived in the camper for 11 months and pretty much all of our stuff was in storage then, whether they were in boxes or totes underneath the camper or stacked up in kitty cats, I swear. She just knocked stuff over and fell down, but she's all right. So while we were living in the camper, a lot of our stuff was actually like just stored away, like in Tracy's parents' garage. They had a little shed that we could use. We stored a bunch of stuff in like the Rubbermaid locking lid totes underneath the camper. So yeah, it's been almost 2 years that we've been basically living out of boxes. So it's really getting old. So it's not just like, oh well, we just moved in and we're just like happy and giddy and all this stuff. It's like, no, we moved into this place kind of from a place of being already weary and worn thin from being on such a difficult adventure already. Because we moved to farm twice in 2 years. Like that's a lot. And it's kind of very burdensome. So I am kind of looking forward to this winter though, because then I only have one farmer's market through the winter time to bake bread for, which I'm down to one market now, but with the holiday season and stuff, it has been kind of crazy, kind of hectic trying to get things going with that. But I'm looking forward to the winter time because then I don't have so much pressure to do outside stuff, because how I had figured out how to cope with how big of a project this whole thing is when the weather's terrible, do stuff inside. When it's nice out, do stuff outside. So pretty much all summer while it was decent out, I was busy doing stuff outside, including, getting firewood, because that's very, very important. We did not want to be cold again. While we were able to keep the camper like relatively comfortable over the winter time, we didn't want to have to like deal with that here as well, of feeling like kind of like on the cusp of not being comfortable. We kind of just wanted to make sure that we had at least one space of comfort that we could just be like relaxed. And like this weekend was really nice. Tracy and I actually set up a card table here in the living room, and we played cards, just like sitting and watching the fire. Like it was cool. It was warm enough out that we could have used our mini split, which my dad helped me install, which that's like a heat cool pump type thing. So if it's above like 40-ish degrees, then it can work to heat the house. But if it's below that, it doesn't work. So when it's at 40, it's kind of like, it can kind of keep up, but it doesn't, not everywhere is warm enough. But so it was like mid 40s on Saturday, and Tracy's like, I really just want to keep the fire going and just sit and enjoy it. So that's what we did. We sat out here, we played cards, and just watched the fire. We kept it going, and it was really, really nice to have like a downtime type of weekend. That's actually only our like second day that we've taken off since we've owned this place. So that was really nice. But yeah, it's been crazy. Like, it seems almost like as we get one project done, like 3 more open up. And like, if you guys have been sharing our journey for any length of time, you know that like just to get to the wood burner stage has been a massive ordeal. And like, that's kind of how everything's gone here. It's been really, really frustrating. I'm kind of nervous because we do have a new tub to put in our bathroom, and I'm kind of a bit apprehensive actually about taking the old one out, because I'm kind of concerned of how many cans of worms it's going to open up when I open up the area where the tub is at, because that's kind of how this has been, is like ooh, don't touch that yet, like it might explode on you, not literally, but you guys get the point. It's been kind of frustrating to feel like with some stuff you got to tiptoe around about very thin, but we'll get there eventually. So I've been thinking a lot about like, do I regret this place and stuff? And the answer honestly is kind of a yes and no. Like with getting this place, I regret that I like mentally told myself that by wintertime I'd probably have it done, because I've been like trying to like keep myself on this crazy unobtainable schedule of getting things done at superhuman rates of speed. And I'm honestly like burning myself out by doing that, by pushing so stinking hard. But like, I'm the type of person that once I have a project started, I have a really hard time like pulling myself away from that. Like I jokingly tell people that Tracy makes me lazy because she makes me take breaks and stuff. Like she's like, hey, it's time to eat, like this is important, come eat. And I'm like, I'm busy, I can't. And she's like, go eat. So she does make me take breaks, which is kind of nice, because since she's been back to work, nobody's forcing me to take breaks. I can be more productive. But like, it's kind of getting rough on me, to try to keep forging ahead at such a ridiculous pace. So I have been trying to slow down a little bit, to sort of just for my own mental well-being and stuff. I don't want to get myself to like a complete and utter stage of burnout to where it becomes very difficult to try to recover from that, because I have done that to myself in the past before, and that's not a pretty place to be. But yeah, there's not too much more that has happened actually between the last major update and now, besides just getting more animals processed, raised up. We got more stuff butchered. We did reduce the rabbit flock that we have. I guess it's a herd. I don't know the technical terms for the grouping of rabbits, for our breeders. So we had 3 breeders that they were all, 2 of them were like 4.5, and the other one was like 3.5, 4 years old, which is pretty much the end of life cycle for breeder rabbits. But we would have kept them throughout the winter, but the one doe, she had not had a successful Kindle, which is a litter of kits, which is babies. She didn't successfully become a mom at all this year, even though we bred her multiple times. And she's one that has been notoriously a bad mom in the past for us. So we did end up dispatching her. And then Tink, she was really steadily like declining. She was one of the originals that we had ever had. So she was, somewhere around 4.5, 5 years old, which is pretty old for a female rabbit that has been bred for meat production and stuff. We don't overbreed our rabbits, but it is, they do have a time limit and an expiration date, and she most likely would not have made it through this winter because she was losing weight. She wasn't thriving. She did have a couple successful litters of kits this year, but not anything like she had before. Like, you could tell that she wasn't at her optimum. And then Buck, that was our original breeder, and so we did go ahead and we dispatched him because he's geriatric, and the last couple times that he's been able to service a doe, we had actually thought that he was going to have a poor little heart attack because he was so like out of breath after getting the deed done. So he was kind of out of shape and kind of not doing so well. So we did go ahead and process them, which is making it so we don't have as much to take care of through the winter time, which will save us money and a lot of time and energy. But it's also really sad for us because we do treat the breeders kind of as pets because we have to handle them, and they're ones that you can get attached to because that they're going to be on your farm for 4 or 5 years. So it was definitely a struggle of time. We do have a few ducks that we're going to dispatch before too long, so that way we don't have to keep feeding extra animals throughout the winter time. We might dispatch some quail too to try to just bring everything down to a more manageable number, because like the birds and stuff, they don't lay hardly any eggs throughout the wintertime, so that's where your cost is really high, and then they can't forage for as much grass or bugs or anything like that in the winter because there simply isn't enough stuff. So all the goats, they're good to go for wintertime. We got all their hay supply stored up. Like I said, we got a bunch of firewood stored up for the wintertime. We probably will have to get significantly more firewood, just because this stove, I don't know if it's an issue with the stove or if it's an issue with the wood or what it is, but like we can't go more than like 5 hours in the nighttime without having to restoke the fire because there's not, it's just burning through stuff too fast. Even with closing the damper and closing the flue most of the way to bring the fire down to a very low fire, it still is burning through stuff kind of too fast. So we are going to end up going through significantly more wood than we had hoped. But we have more wood here to cut, and there's also a lot of wood at Tracy's mom's house that we have the privilege of going and cutting and bringing here. That's already seasoned. It's already stuff that's been down for a while, and it's just like falling down trees that are still somewhat upright. So those are all pretty well dry and ready to go to be burned. But yeah, so we have pretty much everything is ready to go essentially on autopilot for the wintertime. Just maintaining the basic needs of everybody. So that'll actually give me some free time to do more stuff in the house, but like outdoor projects are pretty much done for the year. I do have to build Wilbur and Ferdinand, 2 of our goats. I do have to build them a bigger shelter just because of the fact that as Ferdinand gets bigger, because he was born in the spring and he's growing, it's not really quite enough room for the wintertime for them to sleep together in that shelter without like being kind of too cramped together. So I do have to make an addition onto their little shelter or just build something different for them there. And we are going to get another tarp for the turkeys so that way it can encapsulate a larger area, so in that way they can be out of the weather better. But like beyond that, for the animals, like they're all good for winter. And like I said, I'm not going to do too many more projects this wintertime outside, except for I do plan on cleaning up more of the trash piles because that was something that I had decided that I was actually going to leave until wintertime to clean up because of the fact that this place is like Snake Island, and like we've seen tons of big, huge black snakes like going in and out of these trash piles and stuff, and they're like right off the driveway. So I mean, you don't really want to like open that up and stuff and have more snakes by the house. That's kind of not a good situation any way you look at it. So that is something that's on the agenda for this wintertime. And then that shed, there's a shed behind our house that we have not put anything in because it's filled with previous people that lived here stuff. So we do have to go through that and basically also look and see if the shed is worth salvaging or if it should just be torn down. From the looks of it, they did not put, it's one of them like wooden sheds that you can buy and have delivered at your place. From the looks of it, no one decided to put any cinder blocks down on the ground or gravel down on the ground before they placed the shed. So on the outside, I can see a bunch of termite damage like around the bottom of it. and I won't know until we clean more of that crap out of there, because like we've not even stepped in there. Like you can open the doors and it's like somebody just threw a bunch of random furniture and junk all over the floor. So you can't even like see the floor, you can't walk in there, you can't put anything in there and stuff. So it's just been sitting as an eyesore for us for the last 8 months and stuff. So that was been something that we've also decided we'd put on the winter plans to do because of all of the snakes and stuff that are here. We'd rather just wait till it's cooler out, wear gloves, coats, all that stuff, and not have to worry about snakes being super active and mad that you're in their domain. So that shed is something that we don't know if it's going to be salvageable or not. I'm hoping that it is salvageable, just because it would be really nice for me to have like a workspace to get projects done that are not like the front porch and stuff or in the driveway, because that's really, really frustrating to have to be knelt down on, you know, if we're in the driveway, to knelt down on the concrete pad that's uneven and not covered. And it's been hard because there's not a good space here to work on things. So it'd be really, really nice if that shed is something that can actually be like functional and usable and stuff, if I can just fix it instead of having to tear it down, because then I think it'd probably be easier just to fix it than it would be to tear it down. Because I don't even know what we would do with it once we tore it down. I mean, we're not the type of people that want to have a bunch more trash piles lying around somewhere. And we're not about to burn a bunch of shingles. And the trash service out here is really weird. Like, we have to have everything in bags, and we can't have the bags be too heavy, and we can't throw away any construction type of material, which I'm assuming that's why the previous people that had done some gutting of this house just threw everything beside the driveway, is because the trash service is dumb out here. So I don't know what we're going to do with the trash. Probably just put it in little feed bags and then staple the feed bags shut, so then they can't look in the feed bags to see what's in there. But I don't know. We'll figure it out little bit by little bit if we have to. That's what we did with the trash pile that was right beside the house. We just kept doing like grocery bags full, and then putting a couple grocery bags full into a regular trash bag, and then tied it up and put it out the can. It took forever. Like, it took all summer long to get rid of that trash pile doing it that way, but it's what made it so trash companies stopped complaining and stuff. So it was kind of, got to work around things the way you got to work around them. But yeah, so it's been frustrating. I do plan on, in the next week or two, actually painting the bathroom. We do have the paint for the bathroom. We do have the paint for the dining room. And then we have the paint that we're going to use to paint the stairwell going upstairs. And then also the big landing that's up there that eventually will have like our bookshelves and our books unpacked at and all that stuff. So I'm pretty jazzed about doing the painting projects. And as we've said from the get-go with this house, the living room is actually the last room that we are going to do anything with, because it needs the most amount of work done. So we'd rather just be able to focus on the smaller fixes of doing all of the rest of the stuff before we do the major ordeal of this living room. But yeah, so I don't think there's anything else going on with us. Just normal life of just, Tracy going back and forth to work, Lily going back and forth to school, and me getting everything done with the animals and making bread and doing, all the normal things that come with the homesteading lifestyle. So yeah, if you guys are enjoying this content, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends on social media. If you haven't already, please subscribe to help us grow. We'd greatly appreciate it. All right, thanks for watching. Have a good one, guys.